Hi everybody, welcome to my little channel. It's Beatle Dave calling to you from Derbyshire in the UK. For this little video we are going to look at a Beatles album that came last week, so it's not one that I got yesterday. I'm still sorting through them, so stay tuned because there will be quite a few videos coming up in the next few days about some of the records that we got on our trip to Nottingham yesterday. But today we're looking at the Beatles and it's called 30 Weeks in 1963. Yes, I don't think it's an official release. Bear with me 1 second while I just put my granddad glasses on. I hate putting these things on, I really do hate putting these on. But basically it is alternate versions and things like that from basically the first 30 weeks of 1963. So it starts off with Abbey Road Sessions on the February the 11th, 1963. So this is sessions for the Please Please Me LP, I think. So I saw her standing there. This is take 9 and it's stereo. It's very close to the released version, but in one way actually sounds slightly better, but that's just my opinion. Then you get There's a Place, take 6, again that is in stereo. Do You Want to Know a Secret, take 8. Now the great thing about Do You Want to Know a Secret on this record is there's no echo on it, so you can actually hear how clear George's voice is when he's singing it. It is a nice version of it, to be honest. Then there's A Taste of Honey, that's take 6. And then we've got Misery, take 6 as well. So most of them would take 6, won't they? Then we move on to Abbey Road Sessions on March the 3rd, 1963. These are the sessions for Me to You single, I think. So you get For Me to You, take 2, Lennon and McCartney, stereo. Again, slightly different version. It is good though. Then you get Thank You Girl, take 4, again in stereo. And then the interesting one here is you get a version of The One After 909. Now most Beatles fans will only know The One After 909 from the Let It Be album. But this just proves that the Beatles did actually try to record this song in 1963. Very, very similar in a lot of ways, but this is more of like a Merseybeat version than the version that is on the Let It Be album. Then you've got Paris Theatre on the 4th of April 1963, and this is the Beatles singing I'll Be On My Way, which I think is a song that John and Paul wrote and they gave it to somebody else, didn't they? But see, I didn't think the Beatles had ever actually recorded this song themselves, but there you go. Oh, by the way, that The One After 909, I think a version of that, although I don't know if it's this take or not, was actually on Anthology 1 as well. Then you've got Paris Theatre, June the 1st, 1963. Paris Theatre was, I think, where they used to do radio shows from, wasn't it? Baby It's You. And that is a really, really nice rendition of the song. Then you've got, where are we now? Elaine Hall, I think it is, on July the 10th, 1963. This is a version of Love Me Do. Again, completely different to the released version on the single or on the Please Please Me album. Then you've got Paris Theatre, July the 16th, 1963. So you've got Slow Down, the old Larry Williams song. Then you've got Crying, Waiting, Hoping, Buddy Holly song. To Know Her Is to Love Her, Phil Spector song, isn't it? Long Tall Sally. And then you've got Glad All Over. Now the strange one to me on there is Long Tall Sally, because the Beatles didn't actually release Long Tall Sally, did they, till 1964 on the Long Tall Sally EP. So here it is, nearly a year earlier, and they're doing I think it's a live version, well, a radio broadcast version. And then obviously like Crying, Waiting, Hoping and To Know Her Is to Love Her, the Beatles actually did those songs for the Decca auditions, didn't they, as well? Although that's not the versions here. So very, very entertaining. Then you've got the Playhouse Theatre on July the 30th, 1963. You Really Got a Hold on Me, which was a highlight of the With the Beatles album, wasn't it? Again, it's a really, really nice rendition of the song on here. Then you've got Manchester on August the 1st, 1963, excuse me. You've got Honey Don't, and then you've got All My Soul. Again, Honey Don't, you know, that was on Beatles for Sale, wasn't it? So it's virtually a year before it originally came out on a Beatles record here. Then you've got Playhouse Theatre, September the 7th, 1963. A version of Can't Buy Me Love. Again, brilliant version of it. You can't fault it. And then you've got Abbey Road Sessions on September the 12th, 1963. Again, these are for With the Beatles recording sessions, the LP. You've got Hold Me Tight, take 24, which is very, very close to the released version. But then you've got Don't Bother Me, take 12. Well, obviously, Don't Bother Me was actually written by George Harrison. And in some ways, the version that is on here is better than the version on the Beatles, with the Beatles, sorry. But again, that is just my personal opinion. It does actually, the vocals seem a lot clearer on here, on this. I'm saying, I mean, it's 180 gram. 180 gram, I keep saying 100 gram on some of my videos, so I will apologise. But this is 180 gram heavyweight vinyl. Like I say, it's called 30 Weeks in 1963. It's on DOL Records. HQ Virgin Vinyl, 180 gram, manufactured in the EU, mechanical rights licensed by MCPS, and you can get a barcode on it. It is still in the shrink wrap, by the way. But the thing that makes me laugh about this is the labels. Not laugh as in ha ha, but to me it just looks like it's they've copied the old Atlantic label. It's very, very similar. So that is side one. You can see that okay. And then this is side two. And in all honesty, for saying, I don't know if this is, like I said, I don't think it's an official release. But whether you call it a bootleg or unofficial, I don't know. The sound quality on this is absolutely amazing. I've listened to this a few times now, and every time I'm sat listening to it, I hear something slightly different. And it is nice to have things like this, just to compare to the released versions. Wasn't a great deal of money. I think it was about £15, maybe 20. Although the thing don't want to go back in now, does it? Always the same when I'm doing these videos, and things never want to go back in properly. So that is it. Would I recommend it? If you're a die-hard fan like me, then yeah. If you're just a casual Beatles fan, then probably not, because you probably won't get the same sort of enjoyment out of this as what I do, because after all, I'm a Beatles fanatic and I just like listening to things that are slightly different now and things like that. So I will probably get more enjoyment out of this than a casual Beatles fan. If you're a record collector, again, it is worth having, just to compare the versions that are on here with the versions that are on the released, the released albums and singles, excuse me. And that's going to be it for today. I know some purists will say, Dave, you shouldn't be showing things like this, but if you're a record collector and you're a Beatles fanatic like me, I think these are all right. I'm not saying I agree with bootlegs and things like that, you know, but I think sometimes if that is the only way that you can get them on, you know, in physical media, then I ain't got a problem with it. Yes, I know sometimes the artists don't get paid, but I'm sure I've read somewhere that this one and is it Coda Records now, they do pay royalties to the artists and the record companies and things like that. So it's not quite a bootleg, is it? But it's not a official endorsed Apple record, let's put it like that. Like I say, sound quality is brilliant. I've listened to it a few times on my project and on my old Sony, and like I say, I've got no problem with it at all. I think the sound quality is fantastic on it. I think what I paid for it is okay, and it will sit nicely in my Beatles collection. So thank you to everybody that's watching. It's, as always, you know, whether you're a new viewer, you've just come across this channel, or you're an old viewer, a returning viewer, you know, you're always welcome on my little channel. Thank you to everybody that's subscribing and leaving comments and leaving likes. And that's going to be it for today. So hopefully I might see you in a few minutes doing another one. But if not, stay tuned, because like I say, over the next few days there is quite a few records that we got in Nottingham yesterday. Not many Beatles ones, to be honest, but there is some interesting things. So just stay safe, and remember, Beatle Dave, love you all. So until the next time, it's bye bye for now.